Hey, what's up, guys? I don't have much time, but I wanted to read a tweet that is being attributed to Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki. I was kind of surprised to see him make this comment. According to the Grio, the tweet was removed, but you know the internet never forgets. So I'm gonna read what Kiyosaki said, and then you can kind of make of it as you wish. He says, "Why do we worship felons, losers, weirdos, and people without power and success? Why do we attack our police who protect us from losers? Why do our gutless leaders kiss the losers' asses? The police should take a month off. Let losers and leaders kiss each other's asses." So, I don't know if he was drunk. I don't know if, I don't know what was going on. I obviously it's a real problematic statement. It was made in response to what happened with George Floyd. Rich Dad, Poor Dad has sold millions of copies all around the world. And it's unfortunate that, he sort of at least has seemed to have lost his compassion or never had his compassion for understanding alternative points of view. I'm not saying that you have to agree with everything that's going on. There's some stuff going on that I don't agree with. Some stuff I see going on that's a problem. And you guys know me, I speak my truth. But one of the things that I try to do is that if somebody has an opinion that's different from mine, I at least try to understand why they might think that way, and try to challenge myself to find some merits in their argument. And I encourage everybody to do that. If you want to be open-minded, you want to be smarter, if you want to be stupid, try to see the whole world from one perspective. But if you really want to be intelligent, try to see the world from different perspectives, even the perspectives you don't agree with. One thing you might do, for example, is watch MSNBC, hear what they have to say. Go watch Fox News, hear what they have to say. Then go watch PBS, NBC, BBC, go to hear the international perspective, the liberal perspective, the straightforward perspective, the conservative perspective, all that, because there's truth in every perspective, and there are lies, there's bullshit in every perspective. So I would say that with Kiyosaki, I don't know how this is going to affect his book sales. I don't think that was very smart. A lot of black folks have read his books, and a lot of people are real disappointed. I think his advice could still be good for you, because once again, you can still learn from people without worrying about whether they like you or not, or without worrying about whether you agree with them politically or not. But at the same time, there are plenty of financial experts who see the world the way you do that you can also support. A lot of the concepts in Rich Dad, Poor Dad are not complicated ideas. They're ideas that there are tons and tons of black financial experts out here that I think can, be every bit as wise as this guy Kiyosaki. So what I'll say in conclusion with that is, I think that there's room to challenge what's going on. I think that there's room to show some respect to the police that are trying to do the right thing. I'm not a fan of the whole I hate cops mindset, because if you hate cops, then if somebody tries to murder you, who are you going to call? You're going to call the cops, right? A lot of people that claim to hate the cops will call the cops if they need the cops. So I think there has to be a balanced conversation. That's the point, because one of the things that when people say things like maybe the police need to take a month off, that's an intolerant point of view, because what you're saying is that if they can't do the job the way they want to do the job, if they can't run the system the way they want to run the system, and the way they think the system was designed to favor them and certain people, then they don't want to do the job at all. Well, that's a bunch of BS, because we know that it's not the fact that you're doing the job, it's the way you're doing the job. It's the fact that you have disparate treatment for different people based on race, based on class, based on where they come from. So policing is important, but policing must be done in a way that makes sense. For example, one simple rule they can put in place is any cops who are policing a certain neighborhood have to live in that community. Why are white cops coming as street gangs coming into black neighborhoods and killing black people and beating black people up? And remember, the killings are a small percentage of things. It's not just the killings; it's the blatant disrespect. It is the condescension. It is the attitude, the superior attitude. Like, because I'm a cop, you have to do what I say, even if I'm punching your mother in the face. And if you interfere, you're going to go to prison for 20 years for assaulting an officer, because my life means more than yours. That's the issue. So it's not even just a matter of just saying Black Lives Matter. It's really a rebellion against this idea that cops' lives matter more than everybody else. Everybody's life, has value. We know this, right? And I think that this idea that a cop can do things that other people can't do, commit murder and get away with it, or beat people up. It's not just about the murders. Most cops don't kill anybody, and most people don't get killed by a cop. But I bet you, even if you don't know anybody who's been killed by a cop, you know people who've been illegally searched by a cop, who've been disrespected by a cop, who were beaten up by a cop, or who went to jail and got beaten up by this horrible justice system, right? So, the fact that he can't even see any of that, and he sees it as a on-off switch, either the cops do their job the way they want to do it, or they don't do their job at all. That's the problem that you have, is the tone deafness of certain people who cannot even hear what's going on because they're living the world in their little bubble and with their point of view. So Robert Kiyosaki, who's probably worth $100 million, isn't gonna understand at all the experience of a poor black man who's dealing with a cop who thinks he's a piece of shit and thinks he can piss on him and disrespect him, beat his mother's ass in front of him, and he can't do nothing about it. So that's why Robert Kiyosaki's statement was problematic. And I think if you want to challenge it, you should, but challenge it from in a way that fully contextualizes the nature of what he's saying and why he's saying it, because his attitude reflects the attitude of a lot of people who have a kind of our way or the highway kind of approach when it comes to policing, and that is the number one problem. Your systems are not the best systems. Your systems are racist and fucked up. Dr. Claude Anderson, people like that have been pointing that out for decades, and you never listen. That's why you got riots. That's why you have chaos. That's why you have a broken society, because you never listen. Robert Kiyosaki represents, in my opinion, the class of people who never listen. So all of you, even those of you who are watching who are privileged, make sure you listen. You gotta listen. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't learned to buy your first share of stock, please feel free to go to firstshareofstock.com. I can show you, there's a training there for free, because I believe in Kiyosaki principles. I believe in investing. I believe in planning for your future. I believe in wealth. That just because we don't agree on these other issues doesn't mean we don't agree when it comes to working hard and making yourself a successful person. So please, handle your business. All right, black people, I'm out of here. Have a good day. See you soon. Peace.